Welcome to Golden Memories. I'm Barbara. Here, we revisit the lives of cherished icons whose moments continue to shine through time. Their talent, warmth, and dedication left a lasting impression on audiences everywhere. Join us as we celebrate their journeys across film, music, and culture, honoring memories that remain timeless and forever inspiring. Brad Arnold, the unforgettable voice of Three Doors Down, is remembered as more than a rock singer. Born in Mississippi in 1978, he helped form the band in the mid-1990s and became known for a voice filled with power, emotion, and honesty. With songs like Kryptonite, Here Without You, and When I'm Gone, Arnold gave fans music that felt personal, raw, and deeply relatable. His words often carried pain, hope, strength, and reflection, which is why millions connected with his songs across generations. As Three Doors Down rose to global success, selling millions of albums, Arnold remained the emotional center of the band. Offstage, he was known for his humble nature, strong faith, love for family, and genuine connection with fans. Even during serious health struggles, he showed courage and grace. Brad Arnold passed away at 47, leaving behind a powerful legacy of music, memories, and inspiration. His voice may be silent now, but the songs he gave the world will continue to live in the hearts of fans forever. Brian Murphy, born on September 25, 1932, was a beloved English actor and comedian known for his warm screen presence and natural comic timing. His television legacy: he became best known as George Roper in Man About the House and George and Mildred, where his simple, relatable humor made audiences love him. A career built on talent before television fame, Murphy worked in theater, where he developed the acting skills that later helped him shine on screen with honesty and ease. A lasting tribute, he continued appearing in shows like Last of the Summer Wine and remained respected for his quiet brilliance, consistency, and ability to make people smile. Remembering Brian Murphy. Brian Murphy passed away at the age of 92, leaving behind laughter, memories, and a legacy that will continue to live in British comedy history. Actor Ed Bernard has passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 86. His death was announced this week, leading fans to remember his long and respected career in American television and film. Bernard was best known for playing undercover detective Joe Stiles in the 1970s series Policewoman, where his calm presence and strong screen personality made him memorable. He also appeared in shows like The White Shadow and Hard Castle and McCormick, earning respect as a reliable character actor. In films, he was seen in Shaft, becoming part of an important era in cinema history. Though many of his roles were supporting ones, his performances always brought honesty, depth, and dignity to the screen. Ed Bernard leaves behind a legacy of steady talent, professionalism, and meaningful work that will continue to be remembered by audiences and colleagues. 30 years ago, this week, Hollywood remembered the passing of Greer Garson, who died at the age of 91. She remains one of the most graceful and admired screen icons of classic cinema, especially during the 1940s, when movies gave audiences comfort, emotion, and hope. A golden age star. With her elegance, calm strength, and powerful presence, Garson became one of the most respected actresses of her generation. She earned 7 Academy Award nominations for Best Actress, showing just how deeply her talent was recognized in Hollywood. Her lasting legacy. Her most memorable role came in Mrs. Miniver, the performance that won her an Oscar and touched audiences during a difficult time in world history. Even today, her work feels sincere, warm, and deeply human. Greer Garson's legacy continues to inspire classic film lovers around the world. Angelina Jolie's early life was shaped by emotional instability, long before the world knew her name. Born into a family connected to Hollywood through her father, actor Jon Voight, her childhood was disrupted by separation when she was still very young. Her parents' divorce created a distance that defined much of her upbringing. with her mother raising her and her brother largely on her own. Financial strain and emotional exhaustion were part of daily life, even as the outside world associated her family with fame. Growing up, Angelina often experienced the contrast between public recognition of her father and his absence in her personal life. That gap created early feelings of abandonment and confusion about identity, love, and belonging. These formative years became the emotional foundation for much of her later introspection, shaping both her vulnerabilities and her resilience as she navigated life in the public eye. Adolescence, identity struggles, and a sense of isolation. As Angelina entered her teenage years, she struggled with a strong sense of not fitting in. Attending schools surrounded by privileged peers in Los Angeles only intensified her feelings of being different. Her appearance, personality, and emotional intensity made her stand out in ways that were not always kind. She has spoken in interviews about feeling isolated and misunderstood during this period, describing herself as an outsider who observed life more than she participated in it. Rather than finding comfort in typical teenage experiences, she turned inward, trying to understand herself in a world that often felt disconnected from her emotions. This sense of detachment, combined with emotional sensitivity, contributed to periods of inner turmoil. However, it was also during this time that she began exploring creative expression, which gradually became an outlet for emotions she struggled to articulate in everyday life. Early artistic expression and the path toward acting. Angelina's entry into acting was less about ambition and more about survival through expression. She enrolled in acting classes and began to explore performance as a way to channel emotions she found difficult to manage in real life. Acting allowed her to step outside herself and inhabit other perspectives, which gave her a sense of control and release. Early experiences in theater training helped her refine her emotional intensity into something constructive. Rather than being defined by internal struggles, she began transforming those feelings into artistic energy. Her early film appearances were small but noticeable, revealing a presence that stood out in every frame. Even in minor roles, there was a depth that drew attention from casting directors. This period marked a turning point where personal pain slowly began to evolve into professional purpose, setting the stage for a career that would soon gain global recognition. Breakthrough roles and rapid rise in Hollywood. Angelina Jolie's rise in Hollywood was both rapid and defining. Her early breakthrough came with performances that showcased emotional intensity and psychological depth, particularly in films like Gia and Girl, Interrupted. These roles demanded vulnerability and complexity, which she delivered with striking authenticity. Critics praised her ability to portray emotionally layered characters, often highlighting the raw honesty in her performances. Winning major awards early in her career brought her into the center of global attention. However, fame also magnified public scrutiny, turning her personal life into constant media discussion. The same intensity that made her performances compelling also made her a subject of fascination and speculation. As her reputation grew, she became known not only as an actress but as a figure who challenged traditional Hollywood expectations, blending talent with unpredictability in a way that set her apart from her peers. Fame, public perception, and controversy. With rising fame came intense media attention, and Angelina Jolie quickly became one of the most talked-about figures in entertainment. Her personal choices, relationships, and public appearances were heavily scrutinized, often overshadowing her professional achievements. The media frequently constructed narratives around her that emphasized controversy, sometimes exaggerating or misinterpreting aspects of her private life. This period of her career highlighted the challenges of global fame, where personal identity can easily become distorted through public perception. Despite criticism, she continued to work steadily, choosing roles that reflected emotional depth rather than commercial safety. Over time, she developed a reputation for being both admired and misunderstood. This duality became a defining aspect of her public image, as she navigated the pressure of being constantly observed while trying to maintain a sense of personal authenticity and control over her narrative. A transformative relationship and a period of emotional extremes. One of the most widely discussed chapters in Angelina Jolie's life was her marriage to actor Billy Bob Thornton. Their relationship attracted significant media attention due to its intensity and unconventional nature. At the time, both were seen as highly individualistic personalities, and their connection was often portrayed as impulsive and deeply emotional. While the relationship was passionate, it was also marked by instability, eventually leading to separation. During this phase, Angelina has acknowledged going through periods of emotional difficulty and self-reflection. However, she later described this time as part of a broader journey toward understanding herself, rather than a defining endpoint. The relationship, though short-lived, became part of the public narrative surrounding her evolving identity, reinforcing the perception of her as someone who experienced life in extremes before gradually moving toward greater emotional balance and stability. Motherhood, and the beginning of humanitarian purpose. A major turning point in Angelina Jolie's life came with motherhood. Adopting her first child while filming abroad marked the beginning of a profound shift in her priorities. Becoming a parent gave her a sense of grounding and responsibility that reshaped her outlook on life. Around the same time, she began engaging more deeply with humanitarian work, particularly through her involvement with refugee organizations. Visiting conflict zones and displacement camps exposed her to global crises that deeply impacted her. These experiences transformed her public identity from actress to advocate. She began using her platform to draw attention to humanitarian issues, focusing on displaced families and children affected by war. This transition was not sudden but gradual, rooted in repeated exposure to human suffering. Over time, her work in this area became as significant as her film career, establishing a dual identity as both artist and humanitarian. Expanding family and partnership with Brad Pitt. Angelina Jolie's relationship with Brad Pitt became one of the most publicized partnerships in modern entertainment history. Together, they built a large multicultural family through both biological and adopted children, forming a household that drew global attention. Their relationship was often viewed as a blend of celebrity influence and humanitarian ideals, as both were actively involved in charitable work and global advocacy. At the height of their partnership, they were seen as a powerful cultural and philanthropic duo. However, life under constant public scrutiny placed immense pressure on their relationship. Balancing careers, parenting, and global attention proved increasingly complex. While they shared many collaborative efforts, the demands of visibility and personal differences eventually created distance between them. Despite challenges, their years together significantly shaped both their public legacies and their shared humanitarian initiatives, health decisions, and the reality of genetic risk. In her 40s, Angelina Jolie made a highly publicized medical decision after discovering she carried a genetic mutation that significantly increased her risk of breast and ovarian cancer. Given her family history, particularly her mother's experience with cancer, she chose preventive surgeries to reduce her risk. She shared her decision publicly to raise awareness about genetic testing and preventive health care. Her openness sparked global discussions about women's health and medical choice. While medically necessary and life-saving, the procedures also had emotional and physical implications, as they involved major changes to her body and long-term health considerations. She later spoke about the psychological complexity of such decisions, emphasizing both the relief of reduced risk and the emotional adjustment required afterward. Her experience contributed to broader public understanding of preventive medicine and personal agency in healthcare decisions. Divorce, custody disputes, and public scrutiny. The separation between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt became one of the most widely covered celebrity divorces in recent history. The process involved legal disputes over custody arrangements and shared assets, drawing intense media attention. While both parties have maintained privacy regarding many details, the legal proceedings have continued for years, reflecting the complexity of dissolving a long-term partnership with shared professional and personal investments. The custody arrangements for their children have been a central focus, with both parents expressing concern for their well-being. Over time, some of the children have chosen to step back from public association with their father, while others maintain private relationships. The situation has remained legally unresolved for an extended period, highlighting how personal relationships can become significantly complicated when combined with global fame and substantial financial and emotional stakes. Life today, and an ongoing search for balance. In recent years, Angelina Jolie has focused more on directing films, humanitarian work, and raising her children as they transition into adulthood. She maintains a relatively private lifestyle compared to earlier stages of her career, prioritizing stability and family over constant public appearances. Her work continues to center on themes of conflict, resilience, and human rights, reflecting long-standing interests shaped by her global experiences. Although she remains a public figure, she appears to place greater value on privacy and personal boundaries. Health management and long-term well-being are ongoing considerations in her life, influencing her pace and choices. As her children grow more independent, her role is gradually shifting, marking a new phase of life defined less by public intensity and more by personal reflection, creative direction, and humanitarian focus. A legacy built on complexity and survival, Angelina Jolie's life story is often viewed through multiple lenses: actress, humanitarian, mother, and public figure. However, beneath those roles lies a consistent theme of resilience through change. Her journey reflects a series of transformations shaped by personal challenges, professional success, and global responsibility. While public narratives often focus on fame or controversy, her broader legacy includes contributions to humanitarian awareness and advocacy, as well as a sustained career in film. She represents a figure who has navigated intense visibility while continually redefining herself across different phases of life. Her story is not defined by perfection, but by adaptation and persistence through shifting circumstances. In many ways, her legacy continues to evolve, shaped as much by private choices as by public achievements, reflecting the complexity of living a life constantly observed, yet deeply personal in its struggles and growth.